Well, a couple weeks ago, and I kind of forget some of the time frame of this, but I trimmed off all the brush of this big old stump that I have here off of this willow tree. And you can see it's been a little while, the leaves are all drying out. Well, I have a washout on Farewell where we have our little playground, what I call it, and it's continuing to erode. So I've been taking some of this brush and some of the sagebrush off of the land out there and putting it in this wash, trying to stop that erosion. And I'm going to put this in a dump trailer that I've been able to use. And I also have some trees, they're ash trees that are overgrowing at the hotel that I need to cut those back too, and I'm going to haul those out as well, put them in the wash and continually try to build that up so it'll kind of stop that erosion process. Well, we'll go add some more stuff to it. So these are ash trees, and I had cut these down 2-3 years ago. So this is all just the sucker regrowth, and you can see the sizes of them aren't real big. This is one of the biggest ones, but they grow really tall, really fast. And I've been trying to kill this down into the roots, but I haven't been successful so far. Well, this does really help open it up. I cut back some cotoneasters here we have as well. They're getting so tall that they just lay over, so I top them off. They'll come back in the spring. So I'll just do the same right on down the building. Pretty thick in here. Well, I got her trimmed back. I don't think it's all going to fit in my trailer. I'll pile it a little higher. I just may have to make 2 trips. Well, I really didn't think I was going to fit it all on, but I did. There's some minor cleanup. I hear some fire trucks going by, and you can probably hear the horns in the background. Somewhere there's a fire that's picked up. I'm going to strap this down and head out and kind of see what this old dry countryside is looking like where we're at. Well, I did make it out to the building area on our place here, and I do keep this mowed down pretty much on purpose because of fire danger. And we do have a fire that is probably kind of south and west of here, and that's directly where the wind is coming from. We had a fire here a couple years ago. It started here and just did the exact opposite. You can see there's some planes in the air. They're doing surveillance. There's a couple of choppers that are also dipping out of local ponds and dumping water. And we've had, I don't know if it's abnormally dry, but we are dry, which is pretty common for August and September. This is the height of fire season, so everybody's kind of on the watch. So I'm going to dump this brush right here where I've got it mowed, and I don't think I'm going to take the tractor and move it down to that draw quite yet. I may take you down there and show you this washout that I'm trying to stop the erosion on. But I'm a little hesitant with a fire this close at going through this tall grass. And it's pretty tall down there. Cows haven't been in it all summer, so it's pretty tall and pretty dry. But I can walk down there and show you just what it is. You can probably hear it. We've got another big plane overhead, headed to the fire, I would suspect. I got a lot of planes and a lot of choppers in the air. You can just see them over the horizon here. The whole horizon is getting pretty smoky. You know, periodically we have seasons, so they cycle, I don't know how many years, every 5-6 years or so, where we have a real heavy growth of yellow clover. It's a sweet clover, and it gets really tall. Well, this is to the point that it has shed all the leaves and the grass is dry. And this is what really makes one nervous about taking vehicles out in this old dry pasture land. So this is the head of the wash that is just continuing to erode and making a draw or a gully or a gulch or ravine, all these different names. But it's just causing continual erosion. And so I've been piling my old bark stuff from the cutting firewood. I have put quite a little bit of sagebrush in here, and I bring brush out similar to what I've cut today. And I'm just filling this up so as the silt and wind and water and rain comes down, it's actually going to fill it up instead of washing it out. These deep washes are especially a challenge to keep fenced. They would just like to walk right through this. So I've got ties and weights on my fence to try to keep them out of here. And you'd think, well, what would they come down there for? But actually there are fresh tracks, because within the last 4 to 5 days I have turned them loose into this pasture because the creek bottom has green grass. So they do come through here, so if I can just fill this up, it would be all the better. So this is the head of Farewell, and you can see how green it is. It's kind of a swamp grass, but they really do like it. You can tell from the tracks as they're coming down here, they're starting to stomp through here and eat this down. This time of the year, any type of a green grass is a real delight for them. So this is where I've turned them into the last few days. We've had cows neighboring us, and you can see by the distinct line, just because of the fence line, how they also like coming down into this creek bottom, and they've got it pretty well mowed down. So I've got mine turned into here now. Well, this is the scene where the fire was yesterday when I hauled brush out. I'm now the next morning. Things have quieted down, but you can kind of still see some smoldering stumps and debris down in the bottom. This is an area that burnt out more extensively than it did now just 2 years ago. Took all the timber out and all the grass. This was all black, both sides of the road, just 2 years ago. It was actually a fire that started within about a quarter of a mile of our place, and we had a south wind and it was pushing the fire north. And then as we were sitting there watching it, the wind changed out of the north and pushed it south, and it came through and brought all this under fire right up to a subdivision right out of town. So anyway, I thought I'd just come out and kind of give a bird's eye view of the fire that shut me down yesterday, right in the same place. There was enough of this grass that regrew, and what started it, I don't know. But it's still smoldering. It's not a fraction of what it was 2 years ago. But it's tough country to fight fire in. And that's why the choppers were in here dropping, and the county road graders were in here making fire paths and fire blocks. And there's still crews out here today that are still on guard and watching all these hot spots. There is still a little bit of haze in the air, and we can see some trucks here on the point that are just watching for these hot spots. This is one of those cases that the county road actually becomes a fire break. Came right up to the county road through here. So this is the uppermost point going north, where it looks like it came right up to the road. And from where I'm standing here, directly east to our place, is probably less than 2 miles. Just the change in the wind can make such a drastic difference on where a fire goes. So this little hump in the county road here is what we call the divide. And right now the wind is pretty strong, maybe 10 mile an hour out of the south pushing north. And if it had been this scenario yesterday, this fire would have gone right over the top. Who knows what would stop it? But thankfully, the wind died down yesterday afternoon, kind of let things settle down, and all these guys were able to get on top of it. They're still out watching it this morning. So this is the furthermost point north that it came to before they got her stopped. So if they hadn't stopped it here, this is where it could have gone. Wide open grass country. So in light of all this, I don't think I'm going to do this right away. That fire was just 2 miles or less just west of us here. I think I'm going to wait till we get some rain before I bring my tractor up. And with that grapple, I can just kind of grab this as a big bunch and drop it in that washout. But I think I'd like it to be a little wetter. Appreciate you coming along. Thanks for watching.